Welcome. My name is Damian Rems, and this is part 3 of the AgileRails introduction. In this section, I will present AgileRails application-specific code. There are two new folders in the app folder. The Forms folder contains Agile Forms files. Agile Forms are configuration files written in simple YAML format. They contain options required to create a data entry dialog for a database table. All the code needed to create a data entry dialog is defined in the form file. Second folder is the Controls folder. Control files contain accompanying program logic, and together with form and the menu, they make an application. Let's inspect the diary form. Every form must have a table option which defines the Rails model name in lowercase. This is because Rails applications internally always refer to models, not tables. Other options are commented out and are optional. Next is the Index option. The Index option defines what will be on display in the Rails index action. It defines action buttons, fields that will be available for filter and sort data, and the dataset that will be displayed in the view. The dataset has its own set of actions and a list of columns that will be displayed in a view. It also defines a filter method which will be used to select records for the view. In our case, it is commented out since default filter is the default value for the dataset filter. It's time to look at the control file and see how the dataset filter works. The diary control model has two methods. The first is default filter, which will ensure that only records created by the currently logged in user are visible in the view. Method first retrieves currently active sort and filter values and adds the logged in user ID into the database query. The other method is for demonstrating of how selected records in a view can be processed. It will process records that were checked in a view and will load the view at the end. This functionality will be explained in a later video. Next option is the Form option. If the Index option covers the index action, the Form option covers three Rails RESTful actions: New, Edit, and when the form is set to read-only, Show action. Every form has a set of standard action buttons which can be set in the application configuration. These action buttons are Back, Save, Send Back, Disable, Refresh, and New. Actions can be shown on the top, bottom, or both sides of the data entry dialog. These settings can also be defined application-wide in the configuration file, as well as label positions, which can be positioned left to data entry field or on the top of the data entry field. The diary form is divided into tabs. Tabs are useful when there are lots of fields on the form to divide the form into logical parts, or when you have parts of the form that are not used regularly and would like to move them on the side. If the form has no tabs, then the field option is used. All options under single tab or fields option are equal. All tabs have a caption, which are sorted before they are displayed. As already said, it is advised to define tab names in Rails locals. Next, there are data entry fields definitions. As you can see, every field is numbered. These numbers not only provide the order in which fields are displayed on the dialog, but also become very useful when you know that forms can extend another form. There are many situations when the same form can be used for data entry, data observation, or confirmation. A lot of programming logic can be omitted if fields tabs or actions can be removed, added, or changed for different usage scenarios. In that case, we introduce a new form, define that it extends original form name, and add or remove elements from the original form. And that's not all. The form can also be updated in the control program after it has been loaded and before it has been processed. In one of my applications, there are more than 50 different documents that can be printed from the application. Each document has its template and fields defined in a table record. The program dynamically creates a form and allows some of the variable fields to be updated before the document is created as a PDF file. Back to our form fields. Our first field is AR user ID. It is read-only field, and since it holds an ID, its description must be retrieved from the table that it belongs to. In our case, this is AR user model, and we retrieve the field name from the record. When created, this field also has a default value, which is retrieved by evaluating the expression which will get the logged-in user ID value from the Rails session. Next, there's a title field, which is a text field with a size of 50. Then, the time begin field, which is a datetime picker field. Since there is a JavaScript object behind this data entry element, we can send some options to it. The time begin also has a default value of the current time. I will stop for a while just to show you that all data entry fields are defined in the AgileRails gem, in the App, Models, Agile Form Fields folder. You may define your own data entry fields and use them with your application's forms. Next data entry field is the duration, which is a select data entry field. Choices can be defined here, but as said before, it is advised to be defined in Rails locals. Next is the close field, which is a checkbox field type. And lastly, on a new tab, there's a body field, which is an HTML field type. The HTML field type is defined in another gem, the AgileRails HTML editor gem, which provides the CK editor text data entry field. This is the end of part 3. In the part 4 of our AgileRails introduction, AgileRails order gem will be analyzed.